That's a huge bonus for the Cubs.
Well, they have a lefty in Dunsing that's got good numbers against righties as well. I mean, he's not just in to face lefties, obviously, but the fact that he can go multiple innings and face anyone. He's one of the unsung heroes when you talk about the strengths of this bullpen. Yeah, you can get into the Brandon Morrows and the Carl Woods Jr., but really it's been guys like Brian Dunsing, Pedro Strop, who's been having a good season. They get to those later innings.
Rizzo playing a step or two off the bag. Pham off to an additional lead here, and that one misses upstairs. Tommy Pham has said that his goal is to be the first ever Cardinal with 30 homers and 30 stolen bases. If that's to happen, he and the rest of the Cardinals are going to have to do something about their stolen base percentage. It's one thing to rack them up, but they've been thrown out a lot this year. Ozuna to center field for the first out. Cardinals stolen base percentage is 55% this year. That's dead last in the National League. And if you're being thrown out 1 out of every 2 tries, gets to the point of diminishing returns.
Well, and especially when you get guys like Tommy Pham that have those goals coming into the season. Talking about foot speed.
Luke Farrell's number has been called. He'll come on with 1 out, 1 on here in the 8th, trying to keep it a 3-0 deficit. We'll be right back.
As an allergy sufferer, you're wired differently. Nasacort is different too. Unlike antihistamines, it targets more of the allergic inflammation that causes your congestion and other nasal allergy symptoms for 24-hour relief. Nasacort stops more of what makes you miserable.
Managing blood sugar is not a marathon. It's a series of smart choices. And when you replace one meal or snack a day with Lucerna, made with Carb Steady to help minimize blood sugar spikes, you can really feel it. Lucerna, everyday progress.
Do not mistake serenity for weakness. Do not misjudge quiet tranquility for the power of 335 turbocharged horses. The Lincoln MKX, more horsepower than the Lexus RX 350, and a quiet interior from which to admire them.
For a limited time, get 0% APR on the Lincoln MKX. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash.
New Kingsford Long Burning burns longer, 25% longer. So instead of stopping to refuel, you can stoke the good times till the sun goes down. New Kingsford Long Burning. Start something.
Discover card.
Hey, I'm curious about your Social Security alerts.
Oh, we'll alert you if we find your Social Security number on any one of thousands of risky sites. So you'll be in the know.
Oh, being in the know is very good.
Oh, don't take...
Sign up online for free. Discover Social Security alerts. The moment you realize you're ready to make dinner, but your oven isn't.
At Lowe's, we have more appliances to choose from, so you'll find the right one at the right price. And we'll deliver it for free.
Shop Lowe's for Dad and get an additional $400 off an LG kitchen suite.
This tastes just like I imagined Phil would taste.
Phil in a bottle right here. It's uncanny. Whatever happened to Phil?
Mangoes are great. Snapple Mango Tea tastes just like them.
With the first pick in the NBA draft, I like that they're dreaming of being the kid to play.
Back-to-back broadcasts from Anaheim coming up on ESPN. Angels hosting the Diamondbacks tomorrow and Tuesday night. The first place Arizona Diamondbacks, might I add. And then Just Buster, Alex, and I will be in D.C. a week from tonight as Sunday Night Baseball has the Phillies and the Nationals. Back to this one, and a pitching change for the Cubs. Right-hander Luke Farrell comes on with 1 out, 1 on here in the last of the 8th to try to hold the deficit at 3. Yadi Molina tonight hitless. 0 for 3, including grounding into a double play that scored a run with the bases loaded, nobody out in the 6th. Just off that breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
Luke Farrell, 6'6" out of Northwestern, a 6th-round pick in 2013 by the Royals. Comes at you with a fastball, 4-seamer, 92 to 94, curveball and a change.
Pham didn't try to run with the left-hander Dunsing on the mound. See if he, bigger lead for sure here. And Farrell aware of that.
You guys were talking about, Alex, you asked Tommy Pham about his interest in sabermetrics in spring training. When I talked to him about his stolen bases, he said, look, you can't go below 80%. That was the first thing he said. That's how much he's into the numbers.
Wow.
Well, and if you follow him on Instagram, it's a fun, you see guys in the off-season doing all their different workouts. What was cool with Tommy Pham is he had a post where he found out Billy Hamilton's foot speed, and he translated it to miles per hour. And if you've ever been on a treadmill, you can actually put that on there. And he put Billy Hamilton's miles per hour, set it at the max, and then got himself on it to test himself to make him as fast as the fastest player in Major League Baseball.
See, that's the kind of thing when the rest of us mortals try to do it, we end up on America's Funniest Home Videos, if that's still on TV. There he goes. And Molina sends a drive into shallow left. Schwarber a play on top, and it hops over his head. That means Pham with the head start is going to score easily, and it's 4-0 St. Louis.
There's a big play for the Cardinals in more ways than one. Little slurve here. Hangs out over the middle of the plate. Molina hits it. Schwarber misreads it a little bit. Then comes in. Ball goes over his head. And then watch Tommy put him up and put him down right here. Finger beauty, this 4th run. If you're Mike Matheny, gives you the option to sit but Norris down. This is a very big run for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, 0-1 the count to Jed Jerko. About that number. Talked about how, for whatever reason, the Cardinals weren't doubling.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, they get singles and home runs, and you hear that, but then the fact that there has been no doubles, no triples, and that, I mean, really is a single with like a crazy bounce. It's got to feel good for the Cardinals.
Ball and 2 strikes on Jed Jerko. A rare double for the Cardinals, a rare extra base hit from Molina, just his 2nd since coming off the disabled list. Actually got video of that treadmill stunt you talked about, Jess.
I mean, and the incline. I mean, how cool. To me, you think about him setting the speed, doing the math to actually figure out, okay, what's Billy at? I want to be at his speed, and I think he kicked it up a notch to try to be faster. Did the math of the incline to make it just what he felt like would push him. It's pretty cool stuff.
And Jerko with a swing and a miss. 2 gone for Farrell here in the 8th.
Folks, don't try that at home.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He is a stud.
The pinch hitter here will be Greg Garcia. Again, this has not been a strength of the 2018 Cardinals pinch hitters. Batting a National League worst 155 collectively for the Cards. The whole National League, and the Cubs are considered among the better clubs in the senior circuit along with the Nationals. But there is such an imbalance between the power of the American League and what represents the best of the National League this year. In fact, we had the great note by the Elias Sports Bureau that we heard of today that yesterday marked by far the earliest date in history that 4 major league teams were at least 20 games over 500 for the season. They're all American League teams. Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, and Mariners. All at least 20 games over 500.
Gosh, is that fun, too, when you think about the division. And you got the Mariners and the Astros just winning and battling it out within a half a game. You got the Red Sox and Yankees doing the same, and they're just all hot. You know, it can't sustain, I guess, at that level throughout the rest of the season, but you get excited because it's not just 4 random teams. These are teams that are going to go up against it.
Yeah, that dynamic is... Go ahead. I'm sorry, Buster. Go ahead. That dynamic is part of the reason why some executives think that the American League teams are going to be the most aggressive in West because they feel like that if you are the Red Sox or the Yankees, you are desperate to win that division, because if you finish second, then guess what? You get to face either James Paxton or Justin Verlander in the wild card game, and then you get to face the team with the best record. So the feeling among some of the executives I've spoken with is they think that those teams are going to be all in giving up trade assets before July 31st. However, despite the dominance of the American League that Matt mentioned, interleague play, you ready for this? 103-103. Even Steven heads up.
So, right, if you extrapolate that out to a World Series, whatever National League team that gets there with a 500 record, who cares?
I don't know. Those teams look pretty dang good. I can't think of a National League team right now that can compete with those 4.
Who's your favorite, Tess, of the 4?
I like the Red Sox. And, I mean, it's hard.
Imagine that.
Because I got an ex-Yankee sitting next to me. I know where you're going. I want to say the Mariners, too, just because that's a team that, I mean, you got the defending champs and Astros. We could go all day long on them, but you know how good they are. But the Mariners, they just don't get enough love after the season that they're having. But I would go Red Sox if you ask me right now what you are.
Well, I just love the parity of 2 teams in the Northeast. You have the Central represented by the Astros. Pacific Northwest, they haven't been this good this late, so it's great for baseball, great parity, great interest.
I want to go to Seattle. Like, just putting that out there.
Is that why you're cheering for the Mariners?
What about you? Put you on the spot.
You don't want to go to Seattle?
No. Who's your team?
You know, I love the Yankees and Red Sox, but when it comes to October, I just love power pitching. Justin Verlander and Garrett Cole. Boy, that's a hell of a twosome to have to deal with.
Oh, Charlie Morton. I mean, that's talking about underrated. I mean, yes, that rotation, but he's been a guy that I'm with you. But they got to get a bullpen piece. You talk about
it'll happen.
Going and getting players, as Buster mentioned.
Yeah, I just think it's just a matter of which one.
But Jeff Luhnow is as good as they can. There's no question. He's already thinking about which one he wants, and he's already thinking about what pieces he can move. But when you go into Houston and you think that going against Dallas Keuchel, the former Cy Young, is the soft part of the 5, that just tells you how great and historical the Houston Astros pitching is.
2 on, 2 out here for Jairo Munoz, who has walked in 3 trips to the plate tonight. Munoz swats that one slicing it right, and a foul ball, not by much.
But the Astros finishing up a 3-city road trip, sweeping all 3 teams, and I get it, the teams they faced were some of the worst teams in the American League, but man, they're on a roll, and they're running away with that run differential number.
48-25. Doing the same kind of thing that they did last year, steamrolling through the division early on in the season and establishing themselves as an early favorite. Difference is the Mariners have kept up lockstep.
With 23 wins in 1-run decisions and 6-0 in extra innings. So either they're Cinderella the whole year or they're going to turn it into a pumpkin.
Nice, Buster.
I say it's going to be A. 0-2 the count to Munoz. Chopper over the mound. Russell plays it up high, and the throw to first is buried in the dirt. Molina's going shortstop ground ball, that 6-3 play has not been automatic tonight, Alex.
It hasn't. That's the second mistake of Addison Russell tonight. And that one could sit Bud Norris down from Mike Matheny. I would not be surprised if he starts warming up another pitcher and sit Norris down.
Do you think there's something to the fact that he wasn't supposed to start this game? And have you had that happen to you where you know, all right, I got a day off? You're always, I'm sure, in the back of your mind, I could go in. But Javi Baez gets hit by a pitch, and next thing you know, Addison Russell is in this game when he wasn't planning to be.
Yeah, Jessica, that's a great point. And what happens with baseball players, you're such routine-oriented that you start warming up your game day around 1 p.m. All of a sudden, you shut it down at 7 p.m. You say, okay, you're playing now. It is very difficult to turn that light back on once it's been off all day.
Well, and Joe Madden told this team, and you said this earlier, ahead of the series, hey, this is going to be my lineup all 3 games, because I wanted the guys to know when their days off were, so they could mentally shut it down, starting with Saturday night.
And the way that happens is the minute the game ends, and last night, your computer, your brain shuts down. You don't want to wake it up to Monday, and all of a sudden this is a disruptive, unpredictable event with the injury to Baez, and you see the result, 2 mistakes, 1 error, should have been 2 errors.
So ball and a strike down to Colton Wong. Cardinals got 2 in the 6th to break the scoreless tie. A third on the Carpenter home run the following inning. And through various means, a couple of runs here in the 8th. Talking about Russell as a non-starter tonight, this is why he was pressed into duty, because Javi Baez got hit the pitch in the elbow. Left the game. The initial diagnosis was that of a contusion, though as Buster reported earlier, the Cubs plan to x-ray that elbow later tonight. Full count now. Again, Matt Carpenter, who homered in his last plate appearance, is on deck. Might have a 5th AB tonight. Barrels 3-2 is fouled away. It's not been necessarily a happy place for Luke. Wong's season numbers down to 188. Farrell's given up a home run in each of his last 3 outings in this ballpark. That at the start of the night. Garcia and Munoz aboard with 2 runs in. As Wong lines a slicing drive into center field, laying out is Almora to make a great catch. Wow.
Albert Almora Jr. from the get-go, he gets the read, puts on the cape, makes the grab.
You're a cowboy today.
You don't act like the man from the stories I've heard.
That's the thing about being a grandfather. I get to do all the things I wish I'd done with my children. And the things I regret, I get to do different.
You were right. You're building a city.
Everyone's forgotten who runs this valley. I need you more than ever.
You have me. What are you doing here?
Same thing I always do. Fixing something you couldn't.
Stagnation is death for a town, and the Duttons are the ones killing it.
The new chief is hungry for a fight.
I'm gonna buy your ranch, and I'm gonna pull down every fence. It'll look like it used to, when it was ours.
Just tell me who to fight.
Everyone.
A man must stand with his people.
This ain't checkers, son. This is chess. You're about to play it with masters.
Every day is fight for this family.
If you were winning, I wouldn't be here.
I don't regret one sin I've committed. It's the one I'm about to commit that worries me.
Mess with my family. I will chop your family tree down.
Progress. Can't stop it, John. Watch me.
Yellowstone, a new series, Wednesday at 9 on Paramount Network.
Wrapping up Father's Day weekend, Mike Fultonavich with his young man. Fans enjoying the weekend all around Major League Baseball, and today on Father's Day, a special day to come out to the ballpark for Toronto's young Hervis Solarte. A very special day every day as he runs off to meet his kids. Lost his wife a couple of years ago, a single dad raising the family. And our hats are off to fathers around the country tonight. Bud Norris on to try to finish things out for the Cardinals this evening. He'll get Kyle Schwarber to lead things off. Schwarber, Almora, and Russell for Chicago. Cards trying to put their season worst 4-game losing streak to bed tonight. Norris has been terrific. 13 for 15 in save opportunities with the numbers that you see there on the screen.
Strikeouts, 4 walks. That is remarkable.
But Norris has really enjoyed quite a second act in baseball. After most of his days came as a starting pitcher with the Astros and Orioles, found a new ceiling on his game when he got a chance to close games for Mike Soch and the Angels last year. Two balls and a strike. And Schwarber sends a high fly ball out to left for Ozuna. Brewers were losers at home today to the Phillies, and by virtue of that, the Cubs and Brewers were tied atop the NL Central at the start of this one this evening. But should the Cardinals hang on, that would give the Brewers first place by themselves once again in the NL Central, which looks to be, guys, a 3-horse race, if not more. I don't want to sleep on the Pirates all year long.
I got to give some love to the Milwaukee Brewers. You think about what they were last year and the fact that they held their own, were in first place for definitely the first half of the season, and then kind of got tired, faltered at the back end. Then they went and got a lot of great offseason acquisitions that I think really went under the radar, and this team is for real. And I know they don't have the same stars as the Chicago Cubs and even the Cardinals, but this is a Milwaukee Brewers team that, yeah, they look good right now, but expect them to continue to be good in the second half.
And one of those teams that most people feel will be active in pursuit to add to their pitching ranks.
Yeah.
Come trade deadline time.
Luis Chassin, talk about under the radar acquisitions. When you think about Yu Darvish, what the Cubs went to get for a man in the house. Chassin, what they were able to get for $8 million a year, and his success with the Padres and a team that lacked success in the last couple of years. How much he's helped that staff, the Brewers.
And don't forget that the wild card is Brewers owner Mark Atanasio, who in 2008, if you can remember, brought the big fella, CC Sabathia, who was spectacular towards the end. So don't sleep on him. He can go out and make a big move because the Brewers deserve a winner. He'll give them the opportunity to win.
Already with a terrific bullpen this year, big part of their success. 3 balls and no strikes to Albert Almora. It's funny, we had had discussions with both Mike Matheny and Joe Madden about the Brewers this weekend. Joe Madden raved about their pitching. Mike Matheny said that team can flat out hit.
Yep. Travis Shaw, you see the 14 home runs. They're second in the NL in that category. But then they went out and got Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich, one of my favorite players. You talk about Ozuna, being one of the highlights coming out of the Marlins. You know, even over Stanton. I love watching Christian Yelich swing the bat.
Absolutely. And also, don't forget, in 2011, they got Zach Greinke. So they're known for the big move. And it's about time for another big one. So,
yeah.
3 balls and 1 strike to count to Albert Almora.
Oh, no!
Into right for Bader. Could you imagine what a division changer it would be if the Mets decide to part with one of their big star arms? And that star arm goes to a place like Milwaukee?
Oh, I mean, to be able to see, I think, Jacob deGrom or Noah Syndergaard, see SportsCenter coming up after this. I just, gosh, and I know any Mets fan cringes because there's always that, our pitching is going to keep us in contention, but those arms, if that team doesn't find success, I would love to see them on a team in October.
I think most Mets fans are cringing this year anyway. Addison Russell represents the last chance for the Cubs.
They're on a 2-game winning streak. What are you talking about, Matt?
Break them up.
Moses included.
They're only 7 out in the wild card chase, I'm told.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
Yeah. you got to believe. 0-1 the count to Addison Russell. Well, it has stayed true tonight. We talked about the vast discrepancy of runs in wins versus losses for Chicago. Fewer than 2 a game when they lose. They're being shut out tonight with 2 out in the ninth. More than 7 a game when they win. Only 4 hits for Chicago this evening. On the ground to second base. And that'll do it. The St. Louis Cardinals bounce up off the mat after being roundly beaten in each of the first 2 games of the series to score an impressive 5-0 shutout win over the Chicago Cubs. The win to Jack Flaherty, the 22-year-old rookie right-hander, was outstanding through 5 innings tonight, setting the tone in a Cardinals victory on Father's Day. For Alex Rodriguez, Jessica Mendoza, Buster Olney, and our entire ESPN crew, Matt Vasgersian saying goodbye from St. Louis. It's time for SportsCenter with John Anderson and John Buchagras. The Cardinals 5-0 shutout winners tonight. See you next week.
Brand new ESPN app. Now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now. This is SportsCenter at night.
The dive, the save, the Stros on a streak, and an emotional walk-off on Father's Day. Baseball's best on and off the field. Brooks Koepka remains king of the hills. The strange and Hogan-esque history of his back-to-back U.S. Open wins. And Mexico's earth-shaking upset at the World Cup. It's all now, SportsCenter.
Are you kidding me?
Best story, best game of the big Sunday. Rangers-Rockies at a ballpark in Arlington. Rangers come into the bottom of the ninth. They're down 12-9. It's 12-11 bases. Chuck went out for Jose Trevino. Trevino's son, Josiah Cruz, born exactly a week ago. So the newborn in the stands. Just in case you didn't know what the newborn looked like, we pointed him out for you. All the rest of them seem to be adults, but that's okay. 25-year-old. This is how he got to the majors. He was down there in Frisco. Okay. Wednesday, Matt Kemp collides with Robinson Chirinos. Now they're going to fight. Can't have that. Baseball's going to spend both Kemp and Chirinos. So the Rangers are going to call Trevino up from Frisco. Now Friday, backup catcher Carlos Perez, injured, needs to leave the game. Trevino replaces him. That's his major league debut. Got his first career hit on Saturday. Now we roll back into Sunday. Trevino, chance to be the hero. Played his college ball at Oral Roberts University. Trevino pops one, shallow left, and that's going to drop. Everybody's going to score that needs to score. The throw is wide, and the Rangers are going to come back and win it, and they are headed to Mob Trevino. Second career hit, first career walk-off. Watch the baby's ears. It's very loud in there. The family loves it. We're going to watch Trevino's reaction after these. This is priceless. There you go. I got 2 hits in the bigs. I'll never have to buy a cup of coffee the rest of my life. Trevino eventually going to catch up with and soak it with the Super Soaker Gatorade. He's emotional. Thoughts of his son. Of course, the memory of his own father.
Jose Trevino, happy Father's Day, buddy. What's this like for you?
It's crazy.
Hard to put it into words, isn't it?
I knew this was going to happen.
Tell me what was going through your mind when you stepped up to the plate with the bases loaded.
My dad. My dad, I wish he was here. I knew he was going to help me too.
What does it mean for you to have your son here?
A lot. I can't wait to tell him about it. It's one of the craziest weeks of my life. It's crazy how things work. And baseball and life, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That is a big week. Trevino overwhelmed after he helps the Rangers to a 13-12 win on Father's Day. Sports Center now on television, sharing the T-Box with John B. I'm John A. Thanks for having us. Brooks Koepka's win total here in the U.S. is like this. Phoenix Opens, 1. United States Opens, 2. Yes, his only 3 career wins. But at 28 years of age, the former Florida State Seminole is in his golfing prime. There are many more wins to come. He can go deep. He can grind. 2018 U.S. Open was a grind, though not as bad on Sunday as it was on Saturday with all that griping. Water the greens, some easier hole locations, and the golfing messiah, Tommy Fleetwood. He went out in 32. He bogeyed 9. That was his 3rd birdie in a row. He would make them 4 birdies in a row. And now if he can birdie 18, he get the first 62 in the history of the U.S. Open. He's got a chance.
I don't see much. I've been inside the hole. I think inside the hole is the winning hole. Just sort of pop up there. Yeah. I'm not saying smash everything.
A very makeable putt for the 62, but in the end, they misread it. It was about a ball outside or a lot firmer. 32, 31, 63. 8 birdies, 1 bogey. He had no birdies on Saturday. None. 8 on Sunday. He goes from shooting a 78 to a 63. So Brooks Koepka. Remember, he won the U.S. Open last year. Pretty confident this year.
Like I said, there's nobody more confident. I won this thing last year. I feel really good. My game's in a good spot. You know, I feel like, you got to kind of take it from me, to be honest with you.
He goes out in 33 after birdie in 3 of the first 4 holes, so he's 3 under through 10. Impossible situation here. First things first, get up the hill. He did that. He knew this would likely end up in the bunker. There's no chance to hold it from that lie. So now, splash it up, make a putt, maybe get out of there with just a bogey. Not terrible. Pretty good bunker shot to here. And man, that black stick was working. Holy shnikes. He goes to 1 over for the tournament. Here's Koepka on that bogey.
From where we were, honestly, I would have taken double. We were in jail. You can't miss it there, and to make that big of a mistake, you just want to walk away with bogey. And luckily, that putt went in, and that built some momentum coming down the stretch and made me feel a little bit better with the putter.
He bench presses, he squats, he deadlifts, but he's got hands of velvet as well. The short game, again, this is an impossible shot. At least it was into the wind. That helps deaden the ball, but that lie was awful. But again, looking to get up and down. Center cut, pork chop. Koepka, another par. He's 1 over for the tournament. The 14th hole, again. He would say par on 12, 13, 14, 15. Strokes gained putting plus 408. Dustin Johnson minus 644. Johnson's out of it. Fleetwood is waiting and waiting. He got Sparky with the second thing in the whole thing. Watching on TV. Koepka on 16. Blouses. This was pretty much it after that dart on the par 5 for birdie. And Fleetwood pretty much knows it's going to be tough now with 2 holes to go. He would par 17, Koepka. So if Fleetwood needs him to double blow to the 18, it's possible. Good drive, hit it left, chipped it on, needed 2 putts to win. The first putt is to there, and the second putt is down. Final round, 68. Americans have won the last 5 majors. Koepka, hug to Dad. Happy Father's Day, Pops. Curtis Strange, the last man to win back-to-back U.S. Opens, 88, 89. Koepka joins Curtis Strange as he beats Tommy Fleetwood by 1 shot. The 4th golfer since World War II to win 2 U.S. Opens before turning 30. The others, Tiger. He's won 1 more. Ernie Els. That was it for him. Jack Nicklaus. He would go on to win 2 more for a total of 4. Brooks Koepka, back-to-back U.S. Open champion.
I looked at all these names a million times, it felt like, last year. Just looking at everybody, and you know, to have my name on there twice is pretty incredible, and to go back to back is even more extraordinary. I don't want to say I didn't think I could do it, but I knew that it was going to be that much more difficult, and to finally to do it, it's much more gratifying the second time. I can really appreciate how hard it is to win a major, and to, you know, win back to back is special, and you know, my second major is cool. You know, hopefully there will be, you know, a few more.
There have been 7 golfers to repeat, 3 since World War II. Hogan was the first, Marion, and then he tamed the Oakland Hills Monster. +7 was his winning score both years. $4,000 was his winning check both years. 37 years later, Strange in Brookline, and then Oak Hill and Rochester. He got $180,000 for his wins. And now Brooks Koepka, back-to-back, $2.1 million for each win. No golfer has won 3 straight in 113 years. Rinaldi and 2-time U.S. Open champ Andy North.
The engraving on the trophy will be the same because it is the same winner, but it could not have been a more different journey for Brooks Koepka at a lush course a year ago versus one that had a little bit of everything this year. We will get to Brooks Koepka's performance, but Andy, let's first start with how different this venue was. Ultimately, how would you grade the setup on this final day at Shinnecock Hill?
Well, I thought it was set up probably on they erred on the side of being conservative and easier. They put a bunch of water on the greens overnight, so they were softer. You saw shots early in the day actually spinning back. That never happens. And the fact that there are a lot of hole locations that were more toward the middles of the greens. They weren't toward the edges, so you had a combination of softer greens and easier hole locations. It's set up for some birdies.
As proof of Andy's assessment, one day after only 3 players managed to break par, Tommy Fleetwood nearly shoots a 62. Andy, so many great shots that he hit, but take us to the ultimate shot. 8-foot putt for history.
He had a beautiful shot in the last hole, had it below the hole exactly where you want to. He and his caddy were talking about a left edge putt, and anytime you're putting up the hill, you have to give it more break because how slow it is. As it slows down, it's going to break much quicker, and we saw the ball really veer off at the hole. It was a putt that, if you had to hit it again, it has to be an inch or 2 out of the hole.
We saw Dustin Johnson dominated virtually every metric the first 2 rounds. Andy, the putter went cold, but even beyond that, what challenged him in particular in the final round?
Well, he hit a lot of quality shots. He just didn't make any putts over the last 36 holes. He had 6 3-putts. He had none early on. Ended up with 35 putts on Sunday. That's an enormously large amount of putts, and that was with a 1 putt for birdie in the last hole.
Brooks Koepka had 5 birdies in the final round Sunday, but I have a feeling, Andy, you won't point to any of those as the key shots that helped him win this championship.
Well, he made a great birdie at 10. Hit a beautiful iron in there about 6-7 feet from the hole. But then on 11, uphill par 3, he hit it well left of the green. And from there, he had absolutely no chance. He pitched it across the green in the bunker and got it up and in out of the bunker by making about a 15-foot putt. It could have been a double or more very easily. Then made a nice up and in at the very next hole, and then made another great par save at 14. So it was that stretch of holes that he won the championship.
Is he, Andy, the prototype, final thought here, of the new golfer, the mixing power with touch, who can win major championships?
Absolutely. I mean, he understands how to play the game. He's got a great putting stroke, and he bombs it.
4th straight American to claim the United States Open Championship, the first since Curtis Strange in '88-'89 to go back-to-back. Congratulations to Brooks Koepka.
Koepka now number 4 in the world. Of course, we'll see him at the Ryder Cup in France as well in September. More to come. Tom Rinaldi one-on-one with Brooks Koepka later on this Sports Center. Game of interest in the majors. Phillies, Brewers. Team split the first two in Milwaukee. Chase Anderson, no relation. In the fourth, one on, one out. Jorge Alfaro lines out to Eric Thames. Runner on first, Nick Williams caught in no man's land. We're going to see if we can double him off. Relay throw pulls Jesus Aguilar off the bag, but Aguilar, oh boy. How are your groin muscles on that one right there? That's an NHL goaltender type limber.
I would call in sick for a month if I got in that position.
Aguilar 6'3", 250. He's not happy about that right there. He's going to take some deep blue ointment right there to make that feel better. In the sixth, we're tied at 4 bases. Chuck went out. Williams. That'll make up for a base running mistake. Knock in 2 right there. Titans come up, take the lead 6-4. Try to win the series. In the 8th, Adrian Hauser comes into pitch for the Brewers. Got called up Sunday from Colorado Springs, AAA. Not feeling well, it appears. And then we're back there.
No.
If you hurl, I'm going to spew.
No.
Oh,
He is a hurler.
he is quite the hurler. Whew. Oh, got to get the ground crew out there and clean that up.
Water it up.
Laz Diaz joking there. Listen, you don't see a guy, maybe nerves, whatever, toss the cookies. Here we go. 2 batters later, Scott Kingery at the plate. And again, going to need another break. Well, here we come. Break counsel's going to come out. Maybe calm the youngster. Yeah, here we all right. Counsel, what is going on here? Wheezy.
It was, early wake-up call, not enough food, heat, probably a little nerves from getting to the big leagues today. So, there wasn't very much coming out. It wasn't a food thing.
I would argue that maybe he got